Hello, welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. I'm Carolyn McDonald and I'm here with Rishabh Thakkar and his film Birds Without Wings. Let's take a look at a clip from the film. So Rishabh, for people who haven't seen the film, give us a synopsis of the story, what it's about.
The film is about an NGO, about the founders of an NGO who grew up in a slum, but somehow they managed to get out of the slum. And now they are going, after they get out, they went back to the slum to help the kids of those slums do the same thing that they did by giving them dreams, by giving them, showing what's a life outside the slum. And so they are empowering those kids.
Beautiful. So tell us, how did this come to you? What was your inspiration for telling this story?
Um, so this was my thesis film, and the school was giving me $5,000. So I was trying to make a film which would do good, and I wanted to focus on a story which was about empowering other people and trying to give back to the community. And so I was researching about people who do that, and both the founders, Dev and Chandni, were doing that. They were trying to give back to the community that they came from and trying to empower the kids. It was just not educating them, but to give them dreams. Because when you give them dreams, even if the school closes tomorrow, those dreams would help them get out of the slums. And so I felt like that was an amazing story of trying to help other people from your own experience. And so I reached out and they loved the idea, and that's how I found the story.
Great. So tell us what the production process was like. I mean, tell us where you came from, your school, and going to, what was the city, New Delhi, India? Is that
Yeah,
where you were? So
Noida.
yeah, okay. So tell us about that journey from here in the States to go there to make the film and how long you were there.
So this was my thesis. I was studying at Chapman University. 6 months of pre-production, I researched about them. I got in contact with a cinematographer who was also a graduate of Chapman. And for a few months before, we were discussing what we can do with the film, what kind of story we wanted to tell, how to use the camera, what kind of cameras to use. And so then we went to India. He was in India. I went to India, and for 2 weeks we shot with them. One of my childhood friends whom I started filmmaking with also came in and helped me out with
Oh,
the
beautiful,
production of the film. So that was
beautiful.
an amazing experience, and
Mhm.
also both the founders became like a friend to us, and the kids also became a friend. The whole process was like I was trying to build a family.
Mm,
And trying to tell a story of them. There were issues with camera heating up a lot because
what?
yeah, it was really hot in
Mm,
Noida, so the
mm,
camera got heated up a lot. So we shot with 7 different cameras. I had
mm,
my iPhone, the cinematographer had um another phone, and
mm,
my other friend had a Canon. So whatever we needed, because we tried to shoot everything cinema verite, so we couldn't wait to
mhm.
get the camera cooled down. So we had, and that was an issue with the colorist in the post-production to try to make it all look same, but he did a great job.
A very great job. I really love the visual of the film. It had a beautiful, beautiful look to it. It's stunning.
Yeah, we wanted to focus on the space, so we tried to do as much as white shots as much as possible,
Mhm.
uh, and just to see the relationship of the space and the founders and the kids.
And
So
tell me a little more about that. I mean, going in there from a faraway place, what was it like to interact and get to, know the children and learn their, earn their trust, to be able to capture such authenticity in an intimate way?
So in the beginning, it was a bit awkward because the kids also were like, "Who are these people who came outside?" And a lot of time when you shoot in slums, they feel like you're going there shooting and then trying to sell those footage and basically
Mhm.
trying to exploit their story. So a lot of time we also get like a bit of pushback that we don't want to share. But when we tell them that we are working with this NGO, um, Voice of Slum, so they invited us in slowly, and we also had a whole session of with the kids where we were trying to teach them cameras. So there is a whole thing where the kids go out and try to reach out to other kids who are not going to school. And we didn't want to go out with them because then the other kids would close down. And we wanted
Exactly.
that conversation as authentic and as childish as possible. So what we did was we tried to teach them how to use small GoPros. Uh, and so in that learning process, they become our friends because we had like 2, 3 sessions of them teaching and just the conversation between the cinematographer and the kids and trying to teach them composition, trying to teach them how to use sound and where to point the camera. They became friends with us. So it was an amazing process when we left. It really felt like we were leaving a part of us behind.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And did you get a sense that some of the kids that you taught how to shoot and use cameras would continue that after you've gone?
Yes, so we were discussing with the founders about that because they also have a newspaper called Slum Post,
Mm.
and they want to slowly start a news channel too. So hopefully in future we were discussing that somehow we can help out with them with the production side of it and teach kids how to use cameras and help them produce some good content.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. So tell me a little bit more about the NGO Voice of Slum. I was so impressed and so moved by their process of, they sought out kids who didn't dream and really help them engage. Can you talk a little bit more about their inner workings that you captured there?
Yeah. So the NGO was founded by Dev and Chandni. The idea they started the NGO by going out in slums and teaching kids in slums. But slowly they realized that they wanted the kids to come to a place which is different from the slums, which feels like a community, which feels like something which is not broken. So then they started this NGO. They named it Voice of Slum, and so what they are trying to do is obviously they are trying to educate the kids, but
Mhm.
they are trying to teach them how to dream, that there is a life outside the slums because most of the people lose with the mentality that they can't get out of the slums, that uh, all of their generations have been beggars or have been working this low wage jobs, and so they have to do the same, but they are trying to teach them because they also have the same story as the kids. So these kids start believing that they also can do because Dev and Chandni did that. They came out of poverty, and because they can do it, we have the guidance of them, and so we can also do it. So that's what they are trying to do. So it's a 2 year course. First, they try to teach them how to get to the level of the school that they should be in. Then they
Mhm.
get them admitted to a school. And every day they come home to the NGO basically and complete their homework. Dev and Chandni and other teachers make sure that they are doing their homework, that they are going to school. And food is served to them because a lot of the times food is also a big issue, so they serve them good food. So the parents don't have to think about them because Dev and Chandni are their parents, and that's how they are trying to build a whole community day around that, and trying to make sure that these kids don't go out of the way. Even if a kid stops going to school, they go to their home and make sure that why are you not going to school? What's the issue? We can solve it.
Mhm.
So they are constantly punching them like their parents. So what that's what they try to be.
Wow, that's powerful and so beautiful. So tell me, you as a filmmaker, it's a twofold question I want to ask you. What did you learn during this process for yourself as a person and as a filmmaker?
Um, as a person, I learned that I love to go out and tell other people's story, try to learn more about other people, uh, may it be a common person or someone who has done a lot of things. I Small things interest me, like what did you have for food, why, what background do you come from, how are you growing up, how are your parents? Those small things interest me. Uh, and as a filmmaker, I learned editing is something which is the hardest part of the job, especially for me, because
Mm.
I hate sitting at one place and looking at the footage over and over. But when you look at the footage over and over, you intercept new meaning from the footage. The same footage, when you watch 20 times, the first time and the 20th time, the whole meaning of the footage could change. So it's really important to do that, and it's important to come back to your film with a fresh perspective every now and then and look at what your mistakes are and what you could do better.
Absolutely. Did you edit the film yourself or did you have an editor?
I had an editor because I wanted a female perspective,
Mm.
because it was also a story of a female person. So I had an editor, and I also I think I couldn't have edited the film so beautifully as the editor
Mhm.
did. So.
Yeah. Yes, it's very beautifully edited. And thank you. So tell me, where can we learn more about your work and the journey of this film, Birds Without Wings? Tell me.
Uh, you can follow me on Instagram, or I think follow Dev and Chandni and Voice of Slum also, because I think their genre is really interesting. The work that they have done during COVID, trying to provide food and relief to kids, that has been also really inspiring. I couldn't be there or to capture their journey, but you can follow them on Voice of Slum and try to, if you can, help them out anyhow possible. And you can follow me on Instagram or on LinkedIn. It's Rishabh Thakkar, or Instagram it's Thakkarish. And I try to post my work as much as possible.
Thank you so much. I really
Thank you so much.
appreciate your interview and I really appreciate your film. And I wish you all the best for your future work.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time. And this has been an amazing experience, the whole festival. Thank you so much for everything.